Welcome back. Today I want to talk about a little idea called the Stoic Circle. And you might say, Stoic Circle? I don't think I've ever heard that anywhere. Where does that come from? Well, it's an idea that I made up for myself to encapsulate the idea of what Stoicism is. And it's such a beautiful principle. I love it, and it coincides beautifully with yoga and what yoga is all about. So let's get into it. So first, let's go to my very favorite Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. And his wonderful teachings were written down and consolidated by one of his students. And it became known as the manual. And I'll have a link down below for my favorite version of that. It's well worth reading. It's a great modern translation of that manual. It's beautiful. And so let's see what he has to say about Stoicism. So first of all, the author of the new translation of the manual that I will link down below, he says, in essence, focusing on what is in our power and letting go of everything we can't control. So that's how he summarizes the manual after his own studies. And here's Epictetus. When you are feeling upset, angry, or sad, don't blame another for your state of mind. Your condition is the result of your own opinions and interpretations. When anyone provokes you, remember that it is actually your own opinion provoking you. It is not the person who insults or attacks you who torments your mind, but the view that you take of these things. Do not be fooled by how things first appear. With time and greater perspective, you can regain your inner peace. Beautiful. And one more from him. If you pin your hopes on things outside your control, taking upon yourself things which rightfully belong to others, you are liable to stumble and fall, suffer, and blame both gods and men. But if you focus your attention only on what is truly your own concern and leave to others what concerns them, then you will be in charge of your interior life. No one will be able to harm or hinder you. You will blame no one and have no enemies. If you wish peace and contentment, release your attachment to all things outside your control. And so very often in spiritual world or in yoga, we talk about non-attachment. But how often do we talk about not only non-attachment to material things, but more importantly to ideas and opinions and concepts and things that we want to argue with other people, or things that are in our life that we want to control. We are attached to the result of things. And this is what causes so much pain. And so I had this idea that, we're in this kind of bubble. And inside of this bubble, I have my sphere of influence, my sphere of control. These things inside here, I can grasp and change and take care of myself and have control over myself. But everything out there is completely beyond my control. I can influence, I can hope, I can pray, I can do my part. But at the end of the day, all those things which are outside of myself, I have very little control over. That's the Stoic Circle. Everything in this little sphere of my world is in my direct control. Myself, my opinions, my attitude, my mental process. I have control over that. Even that can be difficult. We have to unwind it and pull it apart. Our emotions can become unruly. We can't control them. And yet, bit by bit, with tools like timeline therapy and heart rate variability, resonant breathing, bit by bit, I control myself more. And as a result, the things which are outside of my control become more apparently separate from myself. That is not me. I don't have to control it. That is not me. I don't have to control it. And so this little Stoic world of peace begins to envelop us. And that's the Stoic Circle. When I took timeline therapy with Tad James, he loved to present, he just loved this concept. He loved to present cause and effect. Are you at cause or are you at effect? And he would draw the C, and then he would draw an equal sign, and then he would draw effect, right? And he would say, which side of this equation are you on? In your life, in the things that are going on inside of your life, are you at cause? The things in my life, I am at cause for them. In one way or another, I chose them. And that gives you the immediate power to change your life. But if you are at effect, if you're on the E side of that equation, then you're always saying, someone did this to me. Oh, the circumstances were not good enough. Someone did that to me. The government did that to me. My parents did that to me. My ancestors did that to me. My past lives did that to me. My supervisor did that to me. There's always a reason. There's always an excuse. And it's not that isn't truth in those things. You could be absolutely correct that these people did these things to you. But if you remain on the effect side of your own life, then you will never be at cause, and therefore the power will never be yours. But if you can move to cause, I somehow created this. By my subconscious thoughts, attitudes, actions, perceptions, filters, I somehow created the situation that I'm in my life. I chose it in one way or another. Well, now the power to create change is back in my hands. I can actually be proactive, be self-reliant, make steps to correct my life. Within my tiny sphere, I take my own steps to correct my life into a better imagining of what I would like my life to be. And now I'm at cause. Now I have power, and I carry this little bubble of peace wherever I go, because I am at cause, because I am self-reliant, and because I am practicing Stoicism, this idea that it all hinges on me. And now, of all the systems of Indian thought, which they thought about religion and philosophy, I think, more than anyone else. They have how many words for the word philosophy in Sanskrit? It's just crazy. It's like 16 words, if I remember correctly. It's a lot. And they created 7 major, is that correct? 7 major systems of religion. So you have Vedanta, Sankhya, you have all these different systems of thought in terms of religion. And of all of those systems of thought, the one which is the most proactive and the most self-reliant is yoga. And every other system, we're looking to something outside of ourselves to help us, to create change, to bless us, to fix our lives. And only in yoga does the yogi say to himself, I am going to sit here and I'm going to control my breath. And by controlling my breath, I will interiorize. And by interiorizing, I will arrive at a new understanding of myself. Only in yoga are we so proactive and so self-reliant. And so we carry that little bubble of peace that no matter what's going on in my world outside, if I will come back to my breath, and heart rate variability, resonant breathing, creating that resonance between the breath and the heart, right? So that they move together, right? That resonance. By creating that resonance, no matter what's going on, I might be totally messed up in my head, in my heart, but it doesn't matter because I can return to my breath, and that will change me, and I will enter into this beautiful little bubble of peace that I carry with me wherever I go. And it was all because I changed myself. No one had to do it for me. No one could do it for me. At the end of the day, people can give me suggestions, they can give me their input, but at the end of the day, the change always takes place personally with me, right? And with you. So that's the idea of the Stoic Circle. Very simple, but very deep, isn't it? It's very, very deep, the idea of self-reliance, moving the power. See, if somebody else did something to us, then they have the power over us. They gave us our life condition, whatever that might be. But when I say, well, I'm at cause, now I am in control of my life and the conditions in my life. And that's a power shift, right? And that's what we want. We want the power back with ourselves, where we can actually create change. So I hope that you absolutely adored this Stoic Circle. Maybe go and get a tattoo, your own your own reminder. That's what Brother Mitrananda would always say. This is so important. Go and get a tattoo of this. So, if you love this, I hope you did. Be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.